Oh, what is going on, everybody? A little bit of technical difficulties going on while we're trying to figure some things out, but uh, it is Tuesday night. It's time to talk some football, and man, do we have some football to talk about tonight. You guys know me, SAJ, Loudmouth of the South. I'm not coming to you live from any crazy studio right now because I'm a little focused on, what we're talking about tonight and getting ready for our 100th episode.
That's right. What is up? I'm BD, and I'm coming from the studio. Today I'm going to be coming at you from the Krabby Jack studio.
That's not even funny. You weren't even old enough to go to Krabby Jack's, liar.
Bro, yes, I was.
No, you were able to go. You just weren't old enough to go. And that's fine. We'll
Hey,
let that
you know
go.
what? Look who's in here. Our old friend Florida Brian.
Well, it's Florida Brian, and then it becomes, Converse Brian.
He'll always be Florida Brian. So
good once to see Florida you. Brian, always Florida Brian.
Time, Brian. Hope you're doing well, man.
I need to actually hang out with that cat. He keeps inviting me, and I keep being busy and doing family things and everything. I need to make time to hang out with him. Especially with him being here in Texas now. Like there's no real excuse. And yeah, I'm not the best when it comes to that. But glad to see you here, Brian, and BD and all the other Brians in the world, because I apparently know like 1,000 of them. So it's pretty crazy. What is up? This guy right here, excited to be hanging out with this dude in a little bit. Oh, and then this guy, he's running back up north for spring break. Like everybody goes south to the beach, this guy goes to Michigan. That's crazy talk. But at least the weather will be nice there, so you can't really complain about that. So anyways, we got a lot to talk about and a lot to cover. We've got updates. Obviously, we just had the showcases for the combines for the college players coming out for the NFL draft. We've got free agency in full swing right now in the NFL. Lots of craziness going on there. We have updates from the NAL. We have some things to look forward to in the IFL, and just kind of pandemonium all over the place and stuff. In fact, even with the AF1. So lots to talk about. I think probably we should start with the meat of our show, and go ahead and jump in with the well, in fact, we even have updates from the UFL, right? So let's jump in with NFL first, and then we'll get in the UFL, and we'll start going down the line like that. Brian, talk to me. To day 2 of free agency, and the Cowboys signed 2 cats. What's going on with that, dude?
Technically, free agency opens tomorrow. Like they can officially sign. They can just announce signings. I mean, we announced, I think it was yesterday, that we signed Javonte Williams. Obviously it's not like Saquon Barkley, to the Eagles last year, but he's a solid running back. And I think a lot of the thoughts are the Cowboys are going to draft a running back. a lot of projections are putting Genty down to the Cowboys, so it's very possible we pick him up. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, man. I'd love to pick up Genty. But if they do draft him, or someone that's at least kind of close to him, Javonte Williams is going to be a solid player in the running back room, which it was probably one of the Cowboys' worst positions last year. Also brought in Robert Jones, played for the Dolphins last year. I was looking up kind of some of his stats. I didn't really know the cat. Looking up some stuff, he played 95% of the snaps during his tenure with the Dolphins. So I mean that right there tells you he's consistent. He's not obviously he's not going to be getting burned for sacks. He's not doing a lot of stupid penalties, because if he was, coaches would probably bench him. So somebody's playing 95% of snaps. He's a solid player. Is he Zach Martin? Probably not, but nobody else is. So couple small pickups. Now we did resign Odigizua, which that's a big re-sign for the team. Great defensive player. We re-signed Turpin, who I mean that guy is just instant whatever you want. He's one of those, you find a way to get the ball into his hands, he's going to do something special with it. They picked up a couple other stuff. They got an edge rusher, Peyton Turner. They got a couple other defensive players and stuff. So nothing, no big names, splashy players, but kind of some decent pickups. I would like to see them focus a little bit more on the offensive line. It just really needs to get shored up. And then maybe address, like I said, the running back, maybe some backup wide receivers or something like that, stuff like that in the draft.
No, I don't disagree. Just looking at some of the moves that have been made, some of them were a little bit surprising, like the trade that the Texans did, and still kind of
which one? They made two of them.
Well, the big one was guard
with the Eagles.
Yeah. Where is he? Where? Yeah, I guess it's the Eagles guy.
Gardner Johnson.
Right. Yeah, but they picked him up.
Texas
from the Eagles.
And I forget who they gave up.
I'll tell you right now, that's the one. The guy that they gave up to get him was, probably needed. Kenyon Green, the offensive guard, Kenyon Green, was a little bit of a surprise to me. But then again, I mean, Houston did have some struggles with the offensive line last year, so maybe they're looking to get some guys in the draft and kind of seal up some of those holes that they had.
Yeah.
Again, was a little bit surprised by that. What's his name that was in Pittsburgh, who is now in New York? That was a little bit surprising.
Fields, I was surprised by that.
Bears quarter.
I'll tell you. So
I was surprised that he got, with the whole quarterback controversy that's going on over there. What's up, Jackie? Good to see you. But the whole quarterback controversy over there, and not really knowing what was going on in in Pittsburgh, right? Who's going to be the starting quarterback now? I mean, are they going to run with Russell Wilson again? Seeing what's his name go over to Seattle, and then Seattle's quarterback popping out.
There you go. Yeah. Put that don't put that one. No, get rid of that one. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Dude, we're in the 2025-2026 season. All right? Nobody cares about the 24-25 season. All right.
Right there, real quick heads up. Our brother show from our little Horns Forward network, if you will. The Vamos Brahmas goes live tomorrow. They have been on break since shortly after the end of the season last year. So it's great to see those guys getting back on the show. And want to definitely give a shout out to our friends at the Michigan Panthers. MI Panther Pride, I believe it was, is their show. My Panther Pride. Excited to see those guys, especially, I mean, there are a whole bunch of people doing a lot of stuff up in Michigan to support their UFL team. So we're excited to see that. But, okay. So
back to you're talking about Houston, some of the moves Houston was making. So they traded away. You talked about their offensive line was not very good last year. Well, they traded away one of those reasons why it wasn't, and that was Laramie Tunsil, which was kind of a surprise for a lot of people. But I mean, the guy struggled a lot this past season. He's not this one at all.
Keep going.
Whatever. Tunsil, I think it was a good move for Texans to move off of him. He struggled. He was,
I agree.
He's a big enough name that they got something worthwhile, but he good for Houston to move off of him and bring someone else in.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that happen. So some pretty decent pickups and some players retained. I'm interested to see how Barrios does as a wide receiver. Just because he's been kind of on a roller coaster with his career, so maybe he has a revitalization, he comes back and he's killing it. Who knows? What up, Mike G? Good to see you, baby. One thing I was really surprised by, and this is going to surprise you, Green Bay signed some people in the free agency. You know, the last time was that we did that? Dude, it was forever. Now, I will say the problem is we got a guard and we got a cornerback. Now, Nate Hobbs is not that's a good pickup, and Aaron Banks is another pretty solid pickup for us. But where's our number one receiver? People were expecting Devontae to come back home, and he didn't. He went to LA.
He wouldn't have been a number one though. He may think he's a number one, but he's like a 2/3.
Our lineup though. I'm telling you, man, it would have been some stiff competition for the number one spot.
That's the problem.
We don't have a number one guy. You don't want
to bring in a 2 or 3 to compete for the number one spot. So,
right. I don't disagree, and that's not a knock towards Davante Adams. He still has plenty of useful football career left in him, but just not as a number one receiver. Okay. Jeremy saying Joey Bosa is now going to the Bills. That's surprising.
That's a big pickup for him because the Bills just released Von Miller. So
yeah, let's talk about the 49ers who have been decimated by the free agency.
Joey Bosa came from the Chargers. The other Bosa.
That's fine, but I wanted to kick over to San Fran, who has been picked. I think they lost 10 players,
something like that. They're having a yard sale for their team.
Yeah. San Francisco 49ers. It doesn't say who it says who they retained, but it didn't say who they lost. I wish that part they would show. Maybe on one of these other websites I can get the information that I'm looking for.
Hey, did you see we were talking about Green Bay just a second ago. Did you say they re-signed your kicker McManus?
Well, but, arguably better than what we'd had. I mean, it's not, but it is what it is. Okay, we just can't count on a kicking game. We don't have, the silver-haired fox to drill it. And I don't understand. I understand why the guy was 40, 41, 42, but he still had some life left in him, and so you don't kick it from 50 yards anymore. You kick it from 40. You kick it from 35. If you're still hitting them, why not keep kicking? Vinatieri kicked till he was 83. So there's no reason, as long as you've got an offensive line to protect him, there's no reason why you can't just keep kicking. So
So talking about the 49ers, I just pulled up Crosby retired.
No, Crosby retired, man.
Yeah, he retired recently.
Yeah, keep his name out your mouth.
About the players that they lost. They cut Kyle Juszczyk, their fullback or whatever, and which was, I think that was a shock to a lot of fans because he was not a huge name, but he was one of those players that you needed some 5-10 yards on a quick out pass. He was that guy. He was the guy. He'll give you a block. He was one of those key players that you didn't talk about all the time. Dre Greenlaw is gone. Travarius Ward, he was gone. And then there were some others that I saw too. Maybe they lost one of their Deebo Samuel. That's what it was. He got traded to Washington.
Deebo's the big one, which really surprised me.
And I mean, they lost the running back Elijah Mitchell, which he wasn't like their star, but I know he was pretty solid when McCaffrey was hurt, and then they had another tackle that was gone. So yeah, they're having a fire sale over in San Francisco. Yeah,
and Mitchell, I mean, he's still got some mileage in the tank, right? Oh yeah, Mike, you're right. Yeah, Mason is going to sign back as a Packer so he can retire as a Packer. I mean, he spent 1 year out of Green Bay, and that was out of a 20-year career. So yeah, I can understand that. Najee Harris, of course, went to the Chargers. The Chargers look like they may have made some pretty decent picks, and it looks like Pittsburgh lost a few players as well.
Yeah, but did you see who they picked up?
But not. I'm trying to see who they picked up.
DK Metcalf.
They did pick up.
Yeah, so DK Metcalf and Pickens are going to be their wide receivers, and I think those two guys are going to be too busy fighting other cornerbacks, maybe even themselves, to go catch any passes.
Well, and so I'm on sporttrack.com. Which, I mean, I'm not trying to promote anybody's website, but hey, what is up, Rig? Soon, my friend, soon. Cannot wait to hang out. It won't be the opening weekend because we've got the big shindig up in North Dallas, but we're gonna be there, man. We're gonna be there at some point in time. No, I'm on this tracker. You can click, team from or team to. And it looks like Houston made a bunch of moves. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total. So that's pretty impressive.
Trades. I know we talked about Tunsil, we talked about Gardner Johnson, and then they picked up Christian Kirk from the Jaguars. Former Aggie. So good for him to be back in that area.
Carolina made a bunch of moves. It looks like Baltimore is the only team who made, I take it back, Detroit and Green Bay. Baltimore, Detroit, and Green Bay have all made 2 moves. Everybody else has at least made 3 or more. Miami's got a pretty good chunk. New England had a huge 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Jets only had 3. Seattle had 2. But yeah, it looks like, and Washington had 2. And I can understand Washington, right? Because I mean, they're pretty stacked the way they were. Although McNichols went from, he's a running back for Washington. He went from Washington to Washington. So does that really count? No, probably not. So maybe it's 1. And Rig, I mean, you're not wrong. We're looking at some of those moves, and they're pretty solid moves. So definitely impressed there with some of the moves that have been made so far. What I'm waiting for, though, because we talked about my conspiracy theory about a certain quarterback,
Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron. Their quarterback went to, where the heck did he go?
So
I'm trying to remember.
Darnold went to Seattle.
Yeah, it was Seattle.
Yeah, and then Daniel Jones went to Indy, and so that was kind of some of the articles that we been kind of sharing back and forth was if Daniel Jones didn't re-sign with the Vikings, there was a pretty good chance, decent chance that Rodgers was going to be in the running for them. So there's that. That shoe dropped because Daniel Jones went to Indy today. So maybe he follows the your great Favre and goes to Minnesota.
I'm telling you, man, I predicted it. Okay. I'm not going to say I predicted it first, but I've been the loudest one saying it. I can guarantee that. So it just everything, all the stars, all the planets, everything is aligning in Rodgers doing the same thing. The only thing we don't know about is if he sent inappropriate pictures to a reporter over there in New York like Favre did or not. And I guess we'll find that out
find it out after
once he gets over to Minnesota. Yeah. And then 3 years later, then he rips off a charity and, all the Favre things, right? His wife that he doesn't have is going to get cancer and then recover from it. And the whole thing, right? So that's what you can expect to happen here in the near future. What the heck is that? Yes, the Favre triple Lindy. Exactly. So, and no, Indy doesn't want to win. So go figure. But anyways, lots going on, and we're not done. There's still stuff that's going to be happening.
It has free agent hasn't. You can't even sign yet. That starts tomorrow. So, all these agreements that you see, they all get signed tomorrow. But there's still a ton of deals to be made, and we've got the draft coming up in probably about a month or so. So
you're not wrong. What I am surprised about though is hang on, where did it go? Okay, no, that's still kind of panning. I'm looking at the 2025 mock draft, and right now Shedeur is predicted to go to the Raiders at number 4. And
that was nice of her to say hi to me twice.
No, and she spelled your name wrong too. Rude. So it definitely isn't you. So what's up, Vanessa? Hey, while I've got a lot of the season ticket holders and just kind of the Brahma family together and some of our extended family members, I've already talked to the James Carr II, hardest working man in show business here. But I want to issue that formal apology again. There was a post that was put about asking about season ticket holder discounts and perks and stuff like that for like away games. And I shot my mouth off without actually knowing what I was talking about and saying that there weren't any because for whatever reason, yeah, I know, right? But my mind went blank and I forgot all about it. And James was kind enough to jump in and be very nice and gracious about it and remind everybody that there are, in fact, perks. So, James, again, I apologize. I know I've already apologized to you, but I want to make sure that our fans know that we're never too big to admit that we made a mistake. But there are definitely perks to being a season ticket holder, and it even applies to away games and tickets and stuff like that. So if you're not a season ticket holder, reach out to James and Company, get on the list, get your season tickets, take advantage of some of these opportunities that we have to do road trips to places you probably wouldn't go to otherwise, right? Like, I can understand, Vanessa and some of the other folks like me making a trip up to Detroit because, the Lions and it's a conference, division rival, things like that. But like Florida, Brian, if you being a, the Dolphins fan, you're probably going to see Detroit once every 3-4 years.
He was going up to Michigan.
So he's going to Michigan, yeah, but I don't know if he's going to be available to go up to the game. But I mean, I'm using him as an example. Okay, don't hold me to everything I'm saying.
I just don't want you to have to issue another apology.
No. So, yes, there. In fact, that brings up a good question. I need to ask you about that off air, James. But yeah, there's going to be there's some stuff in the works to potentially try and make it easier to remember what the season perks are and how to take advantage of all that stuff, and maybe save a couple of bucks in your wallet so you can go to, the chicken coop in St. Louis, or the home of the beer snake over in DC, which by the way is a fabulous location. You got to check it out if you haven't
I'll
yet.
be there this year.
Birmingham, yeah, Birmingham. I've already ordered my overalls and my sunscreen so I could blend in, right? Because just the shirt or no shirt and overalls is what you wear there, and you blend right in. But that's a joke, by the way, folks. I'm just having fun here. But there's opportunities to go check out a bunch of different places, right? And it gives you an opportunity to support the league and continue its growth. And then next year, provided everything goes well again this year, then we'll even have some more places to go to. If the league expands, we have other stadiums that we can go to. And right now, nobody knows what that is. So, it could be a Canton, it could be a Vegas, it could be an Orlando. There might even be some, a Seattle opening back up again, right? And who wouldn't want to go to Seattle? You know, well, I mean, relatively speaking, no, Seattle's not a bad place. But again, what was Rig saying right here? Oh, wow, shots fired against the Wolverines, and we're not even a college show right now. Anyways, so lots going on with the NFL. Keep your eyes peeled. The showcase was there were some real surprises that came out of it. I'm not going to go too in depth with that, just because again there was so much going on. And heck, some of the players didn't even show up for the showcase because they already know where they're going in the draft.
There's a lot
right?
of I think
why go?
like Sanders, he didn't throw during the combine because he's going to have his own pro day, and a lot of the big name players, they've been doing this the last these last whatever 10 years or whatever. These pro days are getting more and more. That they're more controlled for the players, for the top players, to show what they can do. So that's why they're skipping out on a lot of these drills and stuff, and just showing their skills in their own pro day. So,
Right. And I will say, though, that I did think it was pretty admirable that Sanders did go to the pro day and root on all of his teammates. Right. So that was pretty cool. So it wasn't,
well, I think
100%
he
the
was
whole
there. I think he was
diva.
there like he did.
I'm too good
did
for
like
that.
his measurements and weights and stuff like that. He just didn't do any throwing, any of like the skill show off stuff. So,
And it could be, I don't know. I just think it's cool that he 100% went there and cheered on his teammates. Because there's a lot of other folks that have had opportunities to do that and didn't do that. So, okay, so NFL pretty much wrapped up, right? Tomorrow there's going to be another flurry of activity, I'm sure, with all the actual free agent signings and people who were getting some phone calls, actually getting the for real, hey, come talk to us kind of thing. The Packers, of course, missed out on well, let me pull that back. Packers didn't miss out on opportunities for receivers like DK and stuff because they didn't even reach out to them. So I'm assuming what that means is that we're either looking for a diamond in the rough to try and develop, because Green Bay is actually pretty good at developing talent, or we're looking to pick somebody up in the draft to make them our number one. That being the case, we'll have to wait and see because we're pretty damn deep in the draft. So unless we've got some draft collateral to give up, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say draft collateral. If we have some collateral to give up via the draft or maybe a player or something, because we do still have Willis, maybe we can offer him up to move up in the draft. You know what I mean? So if somebody's let's say somebody's looking for a quarterback, we can offer Willis and our 26th spot to go like 10th or something. We'll have to see what happens. But all that being the case, there's a whole bunch of craziness going on with the NFL. So exciting times, right? Speaking of exciting times, it looks like Beaumont this weekend had a very exciting time. So over the NAL, the season just started this last weekend, right? And the Sioux City Bandits, shout out to our friend Bobby Otten, who is, I mean, this is his stuff, right? He follows indoor religiously. He's covering NAL, he's covering IFL, AF1, all the different alternative football leagues. And I got to watch some of the highlights. I didn't get to watch the game live. Just we were busy, doing family stuff. But I did get to watch some of the highlights thanks to Bobby's message. Beaumont Renegades actually shocked the Sioux City Bandits, and it was just from what they said, what he said, it was a phenomenal game. Um, I'm trying to look at what the score was, the final score. It was like it wound up being like 49 45, something
49
like
to
that.
46.
There you go, 49
Yeah.
46. And again, this is a big deal because Sioux City was favored in this league to kind of take it all. And Beaumont wasn't really even necessarily on the radar. I mean, this is a fairly new team. I think they were in a very small league last year, made the step up to NAL, right? Bigger challenge, bigger organization, whatever, and took down the champions. So it's going to be interesting, right? We're going to want to keep our eyes on Beaumont and see, just how well they do against the rest of the league. And they've got 9 opponents that are going to be looking to try and take a swing at them. So all you folks out in Beaumont's East Texas, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, out
all
a
you
little,
folks
about
kind
an
of
hour and a half past Houston.
Okay. So all you folks basically from Houston on, if you're looking for some arena football action, make sure that you're following Beaumont, right? And that covers all the way kind of into, Louisiana and all that stuff. Because I don't think Louisiana has any indoor football. Um, but
You know what's funny?
it looks like that might be the team to watch.
So Corpus Christi, they
Shreveport.
left the NAL, but if you go to the NAL's website, their team page, Corpus Christi still listed on the teams. Now they're not on the
Yeah,
schedule. They're not on the schedule crawler up top, but yeah.
Yeah, that was a whole thing that we talked about. Remember, they were going to join
Yeah,
the
they're going to
NAL,
join. They end up
and
going to
then
the AF1, which, I mean,
yes,
we'll see. But
there's all kinds of just kind of weirdness going on with that. One thing I need to do real quick, I need to get some notes from our Texans Talking Football profile. Where is the messenger? Because it's crazy. Where are we at? Yeah, Sioux City got beat by Beaumont. Over in the AF1, right? That's the league that Corpus went to, and there was a huge hubbub about them leaving the National Arena League, threats of lawsuits and stuff like that. They wound up taking care of all that. Everything was settled. Everything was fine. Corpus goes over to AF1. AF1 is losing teams left and right, man. I don't want to be the guy that does the chicken little sky is falling thing, but I am concerned that in this last week or so, they lost 2 teams. Orlando Predators dropped out, and then the Arizona Bandits dropped out.
yep.
And so now you're down to 8 teams, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, 8 teams. And if you look at geographically how they're laid out, dude, that's going to be kind of tough, right? You've got Albany, Billings, Nashville, Salinas. I don't even know where Salinas is. Southwest Kansas City or Southwest Kansas Storm. You have Corpus Christi, and then over on the West Coast, you've got Oregon, the Oregon Lightning, and Washington Wolfpack. So
Billings, yeah. So
this
Billings is Montana, so they're
okay.
all
So they're middle.
Billings, Oregon, and Washington. The way they've got their division set up is weird. So they've got 3 divisions. Their West divisions, you've got Billings, Oregon, and Washington. Their Central division, you've got Corpus Christi, Salina, and Southwest Kansas. And then their East division is Nashville and Albany. you got 2 teams in a division. The other 2 divisions have 3 teams. It's just it. I
It's
mean,
weird.
it is. It's
really
weird.
weird.
It's I don't know. It doesn't speak well for maybe the outlook for the rest of the season. I mean, I know, last year when they branded themselves, when they came back as the AFL again, they were having a lot of issues, and honestly, up until their championship game, it was just like week to week to week there was another problem. It even got to the point where we weren't 100% sure that they were going to have a championship game. So they brought in Jeff Fisher, I think, as their commissioner to try and turn the league around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he's done a pretty good job, but
we'll see. We'll see. I'm not even willing to say he's done a pretty good job because they had this big revival announced, and I think they've had 4+ teams drop out since they first branded at AF1. So it remains to be seen. Maybe this is just the lower teams that just couldn't cut it falling out, and the stronger rise up, and maybe they bring in more stronger teams from other arena leagues. We'll see what happens, but I don't have a whole lot of hope for AF1 right now.
Yeah. So looking back at some of the messages and everything, looks like Wichita regulators went dormant in AF1. You had Amarillo was another team that went dormant. So there were a couple of other ones besides the ones we announced. Arizona, of course, and yeah, and then of course the Orlando Predators. What really surprises me though is that AF1 went out of their way and got like streaming services with a reputable service company, all these different things, right? To put things the way that they're supposed to, and then these teams start dropping out because of failure to meet the financial commitment and whatever.
Yeah,
and it sounds like some of those teams, if not all of them, are going to wind up in a lawsuit situation, and that's not a good look for a league.
Did you mention the which was, I think the bigger one was the Orlando Predators? They're the ones that just
I did.
Yeah, just really, it was just last week I think it was announced, and that one was a pretty big deal, and what potential sale of the team, and who it all goes back to a lot of he said she said between the team and the league and all that. So who knows what's actually going on with it, but you see a lot of this, and I mean, you say where there's smoke, there's fire. And there's a lot of teams that are dropping out of the league. So either they're making, they're announcing teams before they can verify that they've got the financial capabilities to be in the league, or it's something maybe going on at a league level. That kind of remains to be seen. We'll see how the season goes.
Sorry, I had to take a drink, and I was having some buffering issues on my end, so I figured I would pause for a second. Anyways, switch over to IFA real quick, right? Just because it was the next tab on all my 18,000 browsers. IFA, not a whole bunch going on. I haven't. They're supposed to be kicking off May 31st, so I'm sure you're probably going to hear some more stuff starting in April as things pick up, training camps, different things like that. Facilities get kind of secured and whatever. Because I at least with the San Antonio team, I still am not even 100% sure where they're going to play, and I'm hoping it's not an outdoor facility.
It is. They're playing at the Trinity University Stadium.
Oh. Okay, June football here in Texas.
They made that announcement. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must have missed that announcement.
Like when they first announced the team, made the official announcement. They said that's where they were going to play.
Okay.
Trinity or Incarnate Word Stadium. I'm sorry, Incarnate Word Stadium.
Okay. Incarnate
Is where
Word
they
makes
play.
more sense, but still, the one nice thing though
Yeah,
is at least kind of where it's located at. The sun will be blocked by a certain time and day, so it hopefully won't be as bad. I mean, it may still be 93, 94 degrees, but at least there should be some shade, right? And Mike just said it himself as we're saying it, right? Night games. That's going to be about the only way that's
yeah.
going to really kind of work
Like
for that schedule. But
10 p.m. midnight games. That's the way. That's the only way that's going to be bearable.
3, 4 a.m. That's going to be about the way it's going to work, man,
Yeah,
because it's going to, and it gets really humid, so it's going to be rough. Um, what's not going to be rough though is next weekend. Home openers start for the internet indoor football league, and that's the home of the San Antonio Gunslingers, right? Because we don't want to take anything away from the San Antonio Gunslingers and the excitement that's going on in that. Some of our favorite teams that we joke about are in there, like your Quad City Steamwheelers. They're still around. Um, Unfortunately, our West Texas Warbirds are not around anymore, and Duke City Gladiators went dormant this year. Probably are done. Whenever a team goes dormant in Arena League, chances are they don't normally kind of come back from that. So,
yeah,
you know, uh, fingers crossed for them and the ownership group, but I'm pretty sure they're probably out. But what we do get to look forward to is a little bit of a, I guess, kind of a Northwest. Um, I'm going to go ahead and just block that fool. I love blocking people in chat. It's so fun. Anyways, um,
especially scammers.
yeah,
You know.
we get a little bit of a north south rivalry game for our home opener, and it'll be here in San Antonio, right? Saturday, March 22nd. Tulsa Oilers will be coming down to San Antonio to play the Gunslingers. And that should be a pretty good game. I'm not exactly sure where we're going to be. Oh, I know where I'm going to be. I won't be here at all, so I will not be able to see that. So I'll have to stream that when I watch it. Um, but it looks like everybody in the league is going to be stepping up and having a game. There are some new faces, some redesigned logos. It looks like, um, but like the Fisher Freight is a new team in the organization. I don't remember seeing them before.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, those guys are new.
Northern Arizona kind of spiced up their logo a little bit. Um,
Did they? That looks the same to me.
okay. One thing I'm a little nervous about. Oh, that's from older games. That's from older games. I saw the Frisco Fighters location. I forgot about the Frisco Fighters. All right, they went dormant too. That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah,
Because at least there was something kind of close to Dallas, right? But they went dormant also, so they're not going to be playing this season. Probably done. We'll see what happens though. But again, in the meantime, we're definitely going to have some football action going on. You'll have the home opener next weekend. You've got NAL going on this weekend, and that looks like where are we at? Holy crap! I'm sorry, I just happened to see the Columbus Lions game against the Peach State, whoever that is, 85-0. That I
yeah.
wasn't.
That
I was
was
not prepared for
that's
that.
one of those the exhibition games that they had.
Mhm.
Where they play a team that has no business being on the field with them, but just a little practice game.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Now, what was I think we're backtracking a little bit, but I believe it was NAL. It was the link that you shared the the game that at the end of the first quarter, an arena game that was 0-0 at the end of the first quarter.
Yes, yes. Good highlight. Let me switch back over to that messenger so we can bring that up. I'm not going to share all the information just because we say some spicy things in there. And
We would never.
yeah, Jackie's making fun of me in private chat on my about my microphone. Go figure. Um, where is our podcast? Here we go. It was the where is it? Where is it? AF1 game. Nashville Cats versus the Southwest Kansas Storm. 0-0. first quarter. Game wound up being a very low scoring game, just horrible. You know, that's not what you expect to see from an arena game at all. I mean, it's the draw for it is supposed to be the offense, and if you have a game 0-0 at the end of the first quarter, that's not all defense. That's just a lack of offense, man. So a little bit brutal. So again, back to what you had said before, where there's smoke, there's fire usually. Uh, seeing that the score was that low was just a little bit brutal. Okay, so anyways, you've got some action going on this weekend in the NAL. Not teams that we're necessarily connected with, but you've got Idaho going against Sioux City, and then Wheeling going against Carolina. Carolina is an old arena football, the original arena football team. Same logo and everything. So it's kind of nice to see some history coming back there, even though AF1 is kind of destroying what was left of the legacy of arena football. It is what it is. Okay. And then next weekend, you'll have some football going on in the IFL, where that's the home opener that's the season opener for everybody. Something a little bit more important happening the following weekend, though, right? And I think we need to talk about that. Next weekend, we've got the Gunslingers playing, but we also have a rally going on for the San Antonio Brahmas hat that I'm wearing right here. I want to talk about this real quick because I've seen some disparaging. There it is right there. I've seen some disparaging things online. It doesn't have me too terribly concerned, but I want to make sure that we address it, right? There were some people on the Brahmas page talking about how they should have rescheduled the Brahmas pep rally get together event that they're doing for the support the team at a different time, because it may potentially affect some people going to the Gunslingers games. Guys, there's room for both teams here. Yeah. The Brahmas don't have to reschedule for the Gunslingers, and the Gunslingers don't have to reschedule for the Brahmas, right? You go to one, you go to both of them, or you just don't go to any of them, right?
I mean, you don't. If you want to go to the Gunslingers game, go to the Gunslingers game, have a good time. If you want to go to the season kickoff thing, the rally, go to the kickoff rally. Like there's, you can see highlights of either one after the fact.
Yeah, so. Yeah, and making an issue out of something that isn't really an issue doesn't really seem to be the most productive thing for either team, right? So, throw your hat into whatever ring you want to support. And I get there's some people that want to do both. I would love to do both. But that's just not an option, So find the one that you like the most, go do that. Be ready to bounce back and forth, right? Because we're going to have Friday games on, for the San Antonio Brahmas. We're going to have several away games that will most likely be at almost all of them. I know I'm going to be at every one this game. I mean, this season. See, there you go. Whatever the club is, but okay. There's options there, right? So, go support the Gunslingers. We definitely want to make sure that, we're showing love for them because, I mean, it's a Texas team. It's a hometown team. And, we've got a lot of history with that name. And, I would love to see like a one-night retro throwback jersey to the original Gunslingers of the USFL.
That'd be nice. I mean, they do a different jersey damn near every week, so might as well throw that one in there too.
But that's more the fan stuff. I mean, the players usually. I mean, they only have like three.
Players
three
have they have themed jerseys and stuff.
I haven't
for different games.
I don't remember seeing them wearing themed jerseys out on the field.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've had didn't they have for one of the Star Wars night games, they had like lightsaber themes and stuff, and then they had I think they had like a veteran themed one.
The veteran themed one I remember. That was all camo. But the Star Wars one, I thought that was just the fan jerseys. But that could be. I mean, I don't know. But again, right? That's kind of a an indoor football thing, right? And isn't going to really conflict. I mean, the times may conflict a little bit, but for the most part, because again, most of the arena games are, at relatively respectful times, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. And I'm pretty sure I can guarantee that it is not going to affect um, the San Antonio marketplace in, any way, shape, or form. So, like Saturday, March 22nd, 6:05 p.m. kickoff for week 1. Week 2, you're looking at they're going to be playing over in Bay Area. That's March 30th. That's our opening weekend, right? So you can stream that game while you're on your way up to Arlington to watch that game. Week 3, for example, and you've got the schedule behind you. Week 3 is a bye week for San Antonio. Week 4, you're looking at they're playing in Arizona Saturday, April 12th. Week 5 at Tulsa, and that's on a Saturday. Week 6, they'll be playing here on April 26th. What do we have on April 26th for the Brahmas? Look behind you.
27th, we're playing Houston here, our first home game.
See, that's the 27th. The Gunslingers will be playing the 26th. So see, there's options there. So if you want to go to both, you can go to both. I'm not saying that everybody should go to both because that could get a little bit pricey. But there's options there, right? And the Gunslingers have what, a 16-week season? Actually 18, 19. They have 19-week season. And San Antonio only has a 10-week season. So there's options there. Anyways, okay, I'll get off my soapbox because everybody's roasting me already in private chat. So that's fine. Whatever. Just trying to find a happy median here. What we do need
hey Siri, put a clock on them.
Hey Siri, tell Jason to shut up. What I do want to talk about though is our opening game against the Arlington Renegades, and the tailgate that the Banditos have been nice enough to work with our own 210 Brahmasita to make happen, to continue that friendly rivalry going on.
And even not even the tailgate, the night before the game. We've got the rivalry rally that Friday night, and Arlington's getting a lot of help actually from the team and from kind of some local support as well. I think there's a radio station that's been covering it. They just announced some of the Banditos announced that there's actually going to be some players that are going to be there from Arlington. Mm-hmm. And so it's actually, this is a pretty big deal. So
yeah. If they brought some San Antonio players, right, then people might actually show up. No, I'm kidding. But it would be really nice, right? Too. Yeah, it would be really nice if some San Antonio players showed up, and hopefully everybody plays nice together. Because again, it's just a fan get together. We're not there to really take this to rivalry level, like Philly versus Washington or something like that. Eyeballs. I hate that it takes forever to load on my end.
It does mine too. Like when someone does an emoji, it takes a minute in the chat to show up.
Yeah. So there's a Horns Forward podcast stealing my famous line, that I use all the time. I'm kind of a big deal. No, I'm kidding. But yes, this right here, I figured that was going to happen.
Yeah.
So
we can't let Arlington show us up. So come on now.
No. Jackie has been working tirelessly with the Banditos to organize this thing, make it happen, encourage the friendly rivalry. So guys, if you don't have anything scheduled, which, it's after spring break, there, not really going to be a whole bunch going on, make the voyage up to Arlington. Pack your friends in the car, go up. It looks like we're going to have a pretty decent section. So, numbers-wise, Mike, I don't know that that's necessarily true. Right, there were more Renegades fans there than us, but we certainly
we just sound louder. Yeah, I think we're in just kind of in our section right now. There's, I want to say maybe Jackie can fact check me on this, but there's close to 50 people. Well, there you go, 45 in our group right now.
45 in our group.
and that's just in our section. So
that's just us.
There's going to be others that are kind of spread around and stuff too. And I mean, there's still more spots available. So come hang out with us. Come to a road game and hang out with see all of our rowdiness.
The challenge has been issued, San Antonio. Let's make Choctaw a home game, and let's show Arlington what it means to get loud and rowdy and be full of that Texas pride. Right,
well, Jason. If you're going to talk about the stadium, you need to call it by the correct name. Okay. Everybody knows that it is Cottrell Stadium. All right.
What is it called?
Cottrell Stadium.
Anyways, look at that. There you go. Yeah. And guys, you saw it the last 2 seasons. First season under Hines Ward, when we didn't do so good, we still showed up. We got loud, and that was early enough in the season that there was still a bit of hope.
Hey, and we won that game, so
we did win that game, and we were louder than them. Hines came over with the team and said, basically, hey, and how grateful he was to see us there. Season 2, under Wade Phillips, a bunch of the players came over. I don't think Wade came over, and I wouldn't expect him to. That's a long way in hot Texas sun, and we need to preserve our coach, right? So no big deal, coach. You don't need to, unless they get you a golf cart with air conditioning or something like that, coach. You don't need to come and see us. We know that you hear us, but even on national TV, you could tell when San Antonio was getting loud and rowdy because you actually heard it, right? And that was from probably about 45 of us. So I know there's going to be more. I know we can pack that stadium with more people. So again, I can't say it enough. The challenge has been issued. Show up, go to this game. Let's make it a home game for us. Let's get that 5th game back, and let's take this league by storm, because what is this season? AKA Tu Temporamacita?
Payback season.
Payback season. Yeah. So the power of the hashtag works, right? And I don't know if we talked about it or not to all of our fans yet. A lot of fans here are also fans of, the Horns Forward podcast, but I want to make sure that we give a kudos where kudos is due, right? The league is listening. The league heard us. We asked and we received Milton Hope, the legendary Milton Hope, as our announcer for the San Antonio Brahmas home games. That's going to be exciting, okay? If you've ever been to a UTSA game, or if you were at the last home game last season, Milton Hope was there. He brings a much different energy, a much more exciting energy, a much more professional, positive. And I don't want to say anything bad about the other announcer, but Milton's been doing this for like 1,005 years. The guy knows how to work a crowd. So shout out to Milton Hope. Excited to have him on, the Brahma staff, announcing the games, doing what he does best, which is hyping the crowd up and getting that home team energy going. So super excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, as the Horns Forward podcast here said, Bombshells will be hosting the away watch parties again this season. And I'm not sure who's at the helm at Horns Forward right now, but Horns Forward, if you can do me a favor, is Bombshells an official sponsor and official partner of the San Antonio Brahmas?
They're not official, but it is, it is a place that's showing the games that has, on the kind of on the west side of town. So no, it's not an official sponsor, but it is a great place and a lot of fun.
Okay. So they are not an official sponsor. It's been confirmed by the Horns Forward podcast, but it is still a family-friendly place that is a good venue to go and watch some football. So if you happen to be on that side of town, go watch the away games at Bombshells. There are other options as well. We're not going to go into all the different ones, or you could just go to the game. Go to the games with us.
I mean, that's the best choice right there.
Yeah. So, and we should be posting some of those that travel information on the Horns Forward podcast page. We'll probably share it here as well. We're not going to have a whole bunch of spots, but there may be a couple. So if you're serious about going with us, reach out to 210 Bramasita, SAJ, BD over here. One of us, let us know, and we'll see what we can do. But I mean, this is for serious people. Okay, so like if you're serious about jumping in a van and driving over to Birmingham or something like that, you let us know. We can make it happen. But if you're going to tell us, hey, I want to go, and then like a week later, nah, then you're not serious. Let's not do that. Let's not waste each other's time. Let's just make sure that we're locking things down. Okay. That being the case, BD next. We're taking next week off, right? To get rested up, get prepared, be ready for that 100th episode. 100th episode.
2 weeks
and
away.
That's
2 weeks
2
away.
weeks
On
away.
The 25th is our 100th episode.
It's gonna be super, super exciting. But let me ask you now, because we probably aren't going to have a whole bunch of opportunity to really kind of reflect and talk about what we're looking forward to this season. What are you looking forward to most this season?
Man, I don't know. I'm looking forward to get back into it. Kind of we talked about it before. That final game, that championship game, was just left such a bad taste in I think all of our mouths, and I think I'm just excited to for the team to get back out there and start pick up where they left off of the XFL championship game, and just kind of shake that last loss off of them.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. I'm looking forward to, first of all, great football, springtime football, proof positive that, professional football doesn't stop in February at the Super Bowl, that it continues on, right? I'm excited that this is year 2 that we're going to have year-round football, right? With different arenas and the preseason training camps in college and just everything. Like we've just got football all the time. Like this is how I imagine heaven to be, right? Every week more football to talk about. It's just great. I'm looking forward to the travel. I've been to Detroit via the airport, and that was it. I've never actually gone and seen Detroit. Now, I'm probably not going to be, I'm going to be a little bit nervous when we're there, right? Because you hear all the bad stories about Detroit and 8 Mile and blah, 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 whatever. And we're probably going to get there and it's just going to be like, oh, this, it'll be fine. But I'm also excited to go to Birmingham. I've never been to Birmingham before. I've been to DC. I can't wait to go back.
I'm looking forward to DC.
DC was phenomenal. It was the tour around the city after the game was over when we were waiting to go to the airport. That was not, there's stories there and I'm not going to share them here. We've already talked about them. But I'm excited to travel again, man. I'm excited to get out on the road and do the things and, jump in the truck and go to the chicken coop with you guys, or jump in a sprinter and drive over to wherever. I'm excited to have Memphis come down here. I'm bummed that our friend the boatsman isn't going to be able to make it, but I'm hopeful that several of the other people from Memphis will make it down here. We know Rig is coming, right? We know the Banditos are coming over.
Yep.
Right? It's like 10 weeks of family reunion. You get to go see a new family member every week, man. It's exciting. I love it. This is what this is for. So, very excited for it. Anyways, okay. Now that, my positive energy is just oozing out all over the place and somebody's going to have to wind up cleaning that up. That's pretty much it for episode 99. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait till we get back to St. Louis and get some payback season and finally own that stupid dirty dome. That's the biggest thing I'm looking forward to this year. So Wade already knows. I sent my Christmas list to Santa Claus, who forwarded over to Wade. I know it's already there. Wade's got it waiting for me. That's my Christmas present. Is 2 wins in St. Louis.
Is that what
and
it
then
is?
wherever the championship game is, one more win for us. Right. Hopefully it's not St. Louis again, but if it is, we'll make that drive. I'll figure it out too. BD, you got anything else before we wrap it up?
Nope, that is it for me.
Cool. Well, that's pretty much it for me also. First of all, want to shout out to our sponsor, W Energy Drink. You guys have been with us for several episodes now. I'd say probably 20, give or take. Great source of energy for those that need a little pick me up in the morning, or maybe after midday or whatever, and don't want the caffeine jitters. It's a perfect solution, right? You just throw a scoop in, mix it with some water, which you should be drinking a lot of water anyways, but this is an excuse to get some more water in. Doesn't give you the caffeine shakes, like I said. It's just a good all-around energy drink, and then you don't get the energy drink crash at the end like you do with most of the major brand energy drinks. So go to our page, scan the QR code, click on the link, take it over to W Energy Drink, buy yourself some, try it out for yourself, let me know what you think. Also, shout out to Tu Temperamasita again. We actually have some merchandise in the fan store. Okay, there's some koozies, some hoodies. I think not that hoodies are going to matter. We're going into springtime here in Texas, but I mean, there's options there.
You're going to order early. Get it ready for the cold week that we have.
Yeah, the cold half day.
Yeah.
But that link should be in our Facebook page also, or you can go over to the Horns Forward podcast, and it will take you to the company store, which has a bunch of Horns Forward merchandise in there. It has some Texans Talking Football merch, and we're working on getting some other things in there as well.
Yeah, just go to the collections. There's a bunch of different collections. There's the Bulls on Tour collections. There's the Horns Forward podcast. There's the Vamos Brahmas over there. There's obviously Texans Talking Football stuff. There's the Not Like Us stuff that Jackie did, and especially this month, being Women's Month, there's some special International Women's Month merchandise created by Tu Temperamasita herself. So you can go check out all that stuff. Go look in the collections, and yeah, some great stuff over there.
Like this rivalry shirt, which is on sale in the merchandise store right now. So I know I bought 2 of them. It would be great if we saw a bunch of those in this, heading up the day of, or at the party beforehand, all that good stuff. So make sure you go check out the store, get yourself some merch, show some support for your friends and everything. Look, more orders. Love it. Super excited about that. Again, just all kinds. So that's Texans Talking Football, right? That's your favorite podcast group? No, I don't think that's actually the case, but one can wish, at least, right? Anyways, merchandise is available. Definitely go check out the store, see some stuff there, buy some stuff. Show your support for your favorite podcasts on the old interwebs there. Want to give a shout out to all of our friends and fans, right? All of you guys that have been putting up with us. This is, episode 99. That's over 2 years of you guys listening to me and this guy prattle on about football like, we're some kind of experts. And, it's really kind of like Statler and Waldorf, just yelling at people. That's basically what we do. I want to give a shout out to Mike G and the Alternative Football Network and everything that they've done to help us out. And 100%. Yeah, we are the same people, but Horns Forward is right. We're paying some bills here with some of that stuff. But our friends, XFL Mike G and the Alternative Football Network, and all the support that they've shown between the 2 podcasts, right, helping promote us and all that stuff. Give a shout out to Bobby Otten for all the feedback he's helping us with, and he's actually with a new group right now. And so we're making some new connections over there and finding some more information sources to make sure that we're sharing with you guys. So be on the lookout for that. Maybe see some new faces and some new names being mentioned and stuff. But we're still friends with Sammy Sharp and all of our friends over at Pro Arena Talk, right? Again, that's their jam. These guys love arena football, and so they're all about it. And so constantly they're sharing information with us that we can then share with you guys. So thank you to everybody who's helped out the show. 99 episodes would not be possible without you fans, without the interaction, without people giving us information when we need it. And it's just been an absolute blast. So Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to come and invade your home for an hour, usually an hour and a half. I really appreciate it. So, with that being said, BD, you got
No,
anything
I'm
before we
good.
close it out?
Like I said, I mean, we're taking next week off, and then that next week is the 100th episode. It's kind of surreal, kind of crazy. We're there, but I'm excited. So, and then I mean, we timed it so 100th episode is right before the season kickoff, which is fantastic. So,
Absolutely perfect. All right. Well, that being said, horns forward. Get ready for rivalry week. All right. We'll see you guys. Oh, and except for Chicago.